Hi, and welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I am your host, Eric Knowles. But before we get started, a word from one of our supporters.
Miami-Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Hi, and welcome back. I am your host, Eric Knowles, and this is the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I'm about to jump out of my seat. Y'all already know I'm already excited about doing this. But I got somebody with me today. She don't play the radio. Miss McNeill.
Yes.
I mean, entrepreneur extraordinaire, first licensed Black female GC license in the state of Florida. You talking about dynamic. MCO Construction, NABWIC, National Association of Black Women in Construction, consultant ordinaire, just life coach. You're just a bad girl. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric. And to God be the glory. I have to start by saying that for the story. And just excited. I was actually thinking 2 weeks ago, I became
hold up. And board member of the Miami-Dade Chamber. And board member a whole bunch of other boards. But go ahead, I cut you off.
Well, Eric, I was just thinking a few weeks ago, and I'm honored to be a part of this today, but I was thinking a few weeks ago, my first introduction to the Miami-Dade Chamber was when I was an intern student at Florida Memorial University.
So that was 10 years ago.
My first introduction. So the chamber is how old, Eric?
54 years old.
54 years old. And that would mean the chamber's
52 years. But anyway.
Was formed in what year?
1974.
1974.
Yes.
I was a freshman at Florida Memorial in 1972.
Wow.
Had the pleasure of meeting David Fincher and Ron Frazier around 1974 on the campus of Florida Memorial University.
Wow.
And
that's history, folks. So I'm gonna interject a little bit. David Fincher was the first president of the chamber. He, along with Ron Frazier, Tal Fair, and Mathley Raines, and others, were the ones who started the chamber because in 1974, we weren't allowed or we weren't invited to be a part of the bigger, as they would say, the grandfather chambers, and that's not so now, but and you were there.
And I was there.
Wow.
And as I was reminiscing and reflecting, I do what I call a daily date with myself. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a book called My Daily Date with Myself.
Okay.
And it's a journal, but as I was journaling these thoughts, I thought about Tal Fair, who I ended up having my first opportunity to work at the Urban League.
Wow. And he was in his 20s.
And he was in his 20s. He's still acting like he's in his 20s.
And nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. He's in his 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is that as an opportunity for a young person to become familiar and aware of the chamber, but not realizing the
understanding.
Impact. Yes, and not realizing the impact that it would have, not just on my life, but on the lives of people who were yet unborn. Mm-hmm. And also had the opportunity to work with Ron Frazier on many of the construction projects and watch him and his masterful way of how he communicated, with the powers to be.
Right. And it's still doing.
And still doing
in
it.
His 80s.
In his 80s. And I'm approaching my 80s now. How can we both be anyway? So
Ron might be approaching 90. He's approaching his 90s.
Well, I'm approaching my 80s right now.
Wow.
I share that.
Did you all hear that? Did you all hear that?
Well, Eric, I share that. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I share that because of the power of the chamber. And you talked about the grandfather chamber, which was the Greater Miami Chamber. But back then it was multiple chambers at that time, which they brought together one big chamber and called it the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, which we're also members as a part of the chamber.
Absolutely.
We're members of that chamber too. And I just share that because that is my journey on why I'm sitting here with 5 businesses and helping individuals go to the next level. I help my clients focus on building relationships for billions, because people will fight you over millions, Eric, but they won't fight you over billions. They want to partner with you.
Right. That's interesting. So, where I was going to go when I almost cut you off, and then you say you're going into, approaching 80s, but you're still grinding. But your grind is not like everybody else's grind. Your grind, you live in Palm Beach, you drive to Miami every day, basically. And if you're not in Miami, you're in Atlanta, or you're in Vegas, or you're in New York, or you're in Chicago, or you're in LA, or where
in the world is Ann McNeill? Where in the world is
Ann McNeill?
Yes.
And even beyond that, and I'm saying here you are, because you're building business all across the country. You're building your business, but you actually, for the last couple of years, have been around the world.
I have twice.
What? How 6-month cruise? How what?
6-month world cruise, Crystal Serenity World Cruise, twice. Once last year from January to June, and then this year from January to May. 72 ports each year all over the world.
Where in the world is Ann McNeill living her life and still grinding while you're doing that? It's not like you just vacationing and you're taking in all these amazing ports, and every now and then we connect. Like, where are you now? And you might be in Singapore or China or Thailand or Bangladesh.
Yes, all of those places.
All of those places. But again, it's about building relationships.
But
and
also building legacies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I wrote a book, Eric, called You Must Have a Dream to Have a Dream Come True. And in that book, I talked about the 10 different areas of your life. And as a part of that, it has helped me to understand that just because I am small does not mean I have to think small.
Right.
And when it comes to the different areas of our lives, oftentimes we invest more time in planning a vacation, if you will, than we do planning the rest of our life. So I host an event once a year. It's called Niche to Be Rich. And if anybody's listening is interested, you can go to annmcneal.com. But what I do with my clients, I help them start with the end in mind. They have to send me their obituary.
Okay.
That's the entree to the session. And once they arrive, we help them work that obituary into a plan for living. So whatever you want to have said, for example, whatever you want to have said in your obituary, it does not have to be true right now. Wait.
Okay.
Then what we do is
because you're building toward
exactly.
that.
So we help you work it backwards and create an affirmation for living. And so when you think about like the cruise that I was on, all of those ideas came out of what would I like to do? But that was 40 years ago I wrote that. And now I'm actually living out all of those things that I said I wanted to do.
That's interesting when you put it that way, because when you think about the point that you said 40 years ago.
Yes.
And obviously you are approaching your 80s, but those young folks who are in their 20s, approaching their 30s, and where I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I hope to be here and further. So you're absolutely right.
Well, what I like to do, Eric, with my clients is to help us understand the investing of time and money is the same. So you think about the power of compound interest, right?
Right.
So anyone listening,
I'm gonna let them listen, because we're gonna be right back.
Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna have to take a break because you're getting ready to go deep on them.
Okay.
So we'll see you on the other side.
Learn and earn today at Miami-Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MDC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MDC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I am your host, Eric Knowles, and I have the one and only Miss Ann McNeill, extraordinaire, NABWIC, MCO Construction Consultant. And here we are talking about compound interest and compounding your life.
Exactly. So when you think about the power of compound interest of money, so we've seen that chart that says if you invest, I'm just going to call it $20 a month, every month, 10, 20, 30 years, you're not sitting on 6 figures. You could be sitting on 7, not $20 a day, but a month. And so I share that because our time is the same. If we invest our time just a little in reading something, it could be a paragraph. It could be a page. If you read 1 page a day, at the end of the year, you would have
read a chapter, a book.
Exactly. Or multiple.
Multiple.
And so my point is, so for me, even with the cruise, people look at me and they think that I'm something different. I'm just like everybody else. It's just that I began to learn the value of compound interest early in my life and began to invest in the market simply $20 a month. And that's what paid for the cruise.
There you go. I hope y'all listening. Y'all young folks. I don't know, $20 a month. I had to like double it up.
But even if you double it up for your grandson.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your grandson.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do his retirement on that money.
There you go. Say that again for the folks in the back.
Okay, for the folks in the back that's listening, if you have a child or a grandchild or a young person, you can set up their retirement account now, as long as they have a Social Security number.
Right.
And you can set that up. And if you have any questions about anything I'm saying, you can go to betterinvesting.org, which is a nonprofit organization, which I'm a volunteer with. And you can get information on how to save, invest, and how to analyze stocks. That's all we did back 35 years ago.
There you go. Hope y'all listening, those of you in the back. And so, we talked about the chamber. Obviously, you've been engaged with the chamber, like you said, since you were an intern.
Yes.
And here we are in 2026. You're a board member of the
Yes.
chamber, been very engaged with the chamber. Why is it important? I mean, you definitely have a different prism or magnifier on the chamber. And you and I have been in meetings together. We have met with GCs. And I recall one meeting we went to, I think it was with Coastal Construction. And I was baffled because that was maybe 6 years ago, roughly. And we were talking about how do we get engaged with these opportunities we see and that's 6-7 years ago. And you see at that time, what we thought every corner, there was construction going on. And I clearly remember the conversation. The gentleman said, well, you haven't seen anything yet. And that haven't seen anything yet is happening now.
Exactly.
I was having another interview with Megan from the OZK. And she was saying that the OZK is invested into the Waldorf Astoria, which is going to be the big, and that wasn't even in our conversation
then.
So let's talk about Miami and you being a part of the chamber and what's happening and how do people connect to that?
Well, Eric, as a contractor, one of the lessons that I'm learning is everything is political. Everything is political. We don't often talk about that.
Even though we're in our political season right now.
No,
I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I'm a member of 50 different organizations. And all of the construction associations that I'm aware of in my industry. So those that relate to transportation, aviation, ports, water utilities, and all of that, I make sure that I'm involved in those. So to come to your question, I think as members of the chamber and non-members, if you're in the construction industry, I tell my clients, you're actually in 5 different businesses, Eric. You're in the business of your expertise. So if I were a painter, for example, in construction, I need to be a member of the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. I need to be a member of Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
To me, our chamber here at Miami-Dade, we are the voice of the community as a whole. And that's why even my organization, the National Association for Black Women in Construction, I see us underneath the chamber, not over the chamber, because the chamber to me represents all businesses,
correct,
nonprofit and for profit. So coming back to the 5 businesses that you're in, I'll only discuss a couple. One is the business of your craft. Are you a member of that association for your craft? If I'm a painter, am I a member of the Painters Association?
Correct.
And if I'm a painter and I'm a member of the Painters Association, what do I paint? What industry do I paint? Do I paint schools? That's facilities. Do I paint airports? Do I paint transit agencies? Each of those industries have an association. I need to be a member of, first of all, I need to choose an association. So let's say I paint schools.
Right.
And there's a facilities association. As a painter, I need to be a member of that. My point is, we look at the construction industry and the construction business as it is one.
And we get lost.
And we get lost. So you talk about the opportunities of what Miami will look like. So if I'm in the facilities business, that's schools, then the school association would tell me where the schools are going, where the new school's going. If I am a member of, if I paint airports, then I need to be a member of the Airport Association. For minorities, it's called AMAC. For other people, it's called ACI, AAAE. We just had a conference last week here in Fort Lauderdale for all the airports called FAC, Florida Airports Council. My point is, we must realize we're in 5 different businesses, not just one. So you talk about where is Miami going? Miami Airport has, I was there yesterday, $14 billion budget.
$14 billion.
$14 billion. So if I am a painter, I need to be involved with the Airports Association called FAC for my state. And whatever state you're listening, whoever you are, your state has an airport association. So my point, coming back to your question, we need to understand the business that we're in. That's why I do these retreats. And again, you go to my website, mcneal.com, and connect with me there. But helping our members and our clients understand, what business are you really in? Not only that, how much money do you want to make?
Right.
So, I would
have an end goal.
Absolutely. I would be remiss if I did not mention Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the fact of reading that book in 1979 at 9 p.m., creating 5 businesses from one page of that book is the foundation for everything that I'm building, but also the legacy I'm leaving, especially here at the Chamber. So that's where Miami is going for me, and helping members understand that.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people, they join chambers and they say they didn't get anything out of it. What's your message to them? My message is, what do you want? Mm-hmm. You see, and I say this to some of our construction members, financial and non. If you don't know what you want, I can't help you get there. The chamber cannot help you get there. But not only that, I go back to Think and Grow Rich. How much money do you want? If you want a small amount of money, then small effort. If you want a large amount of money, then you need to really begin to put some large effort into that. But even like what you just said, if you want a small amount of money, but even sometimes you got to put a lot of effort to get that small amount of money. Yes, and it takes just as much effort to desire a large amount of money as it does the small. That's my point. But if your mind is small, you can't see large. That's my point. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we're going to have to wrap it up. But we were talking about $300,000, $500,000, and for some people, that ain't. At the end of the day, when you're looking at what's happening around, that's no money. I mean, it's sad for us to sit here, but it's real. How can someone get in touch with you? If you'd like to connect with me, you can.
I have no problem giving my number. My number is 786-546-0184. I do answer my calls, 786-546-0184. You can also go to my website, mcneal.com, and click the notification bell on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
And if you want to know more about the chamber, you can go to I don't use that anymore. Let's go to m-dcc.org or call the chamber at 305-751-8648. This has been the extraordinary Ann McNeill. We'll see you on the other side.
Today, I stand before you, a proud graduate of Miami-Dade College and the 5th president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm honored to return to the college that prepared me to become a leader in our community, providing an education second to none. So I'm asking you to please tune in every Monday at 12 noon to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce's Member Connection, as I interview members of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce on our Facebook page at Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce or our YouTube channel, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. To learn more about the Chamber, please go to m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648.